Muling ibinasura ni Solicitor General Menardo Guivarra ang kahilingan ng International Criminal Code na magkaroon ng imbestigasyon sa war on drug na naganap noong Duterte administrasyon. Pero bago ang lahat, kung hindi ka pa nakakapag-subscribe sa aking channel, please do subscribe at click notification bell para mas lagi kang updated sa mga susunod kong mga videos. Mga kakamping na dismaya nang ibasura ni Solicitor General Menardo Guivarra ang kahilingan ng International Code na magkaroon ng imbestigasyon ng dating administrasyon ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Dito nga ay naglabas pa ng press statement ang Office of the Solicitor General. Mga kakamping, hindi maitanggap na binasura ang kahilingan ng ICC. Narito ang full video.
To the request of the ICC to comment on the proposal to resume the investigation on alleged crimes against humanity. First, let's just go through the facts, sir. When was the comment submitted, through what channel, and has this been received?
The Office of the Solicitor General transmitted our comment yesterday to the Philippine Embassy at The Hague at the Netherlands, and we requested the Philippine Embassy to forward our submission to the International Criminal Court, Pre-Trial Chamber 1. And so it was accomplished yesterday, the final day for the submission of any observations or comments on the part of the Philippine government.
Why submit on the last day?
Well, the work was quite comprehensive, and at one time we even thought of asking for an extension of time, but then we thought that we can do it even without the help of any foreign counsel. That was an issue that we had to grapple with. Do we need to engage the services of foreign counsel as we had been doing before, especially when we have international arbitrations? Or is this something that the Office of the Solicitor General as Counsel for the Republic can do on its own? And we said that we can do it because better than any foreign counsel, we know what's happening in the Philippines.
And if you were to get a foreign counsel, who are you considering?
There is a list of accredited lawyers provided by the International Criminal Court, and we can actually select from that list. We took a look at that list, and we found certain lawyers who can possibly help us. But in the end, we decided that as representative of the state of the Republic, there should be no better representative than the Office of the Solicitor
Than yourself,
General.
yeah. So when you had that meeting, I don't know if we have that photo again, the one, it was the President, Secretary Boying Remulla, Solgen Menardo Guivarra, Attorney Harry Roque, and Presidential Legal Counsel Enrile. Nabuo na ho ba nung mga panahon na yon na this will be your comment?
Yes.
Alam niyo na yun, ito ang gagawin ninyo?
Yes, during that private meeting with lawyers of the Philippine government, including the Chief Presidential Legal Counsel and the Justice Secretary, we unanimously arrived at the decision to challenge the jurisdiction of the ICC and to question the admissibility of the case into the ICC.
No, was there any other suggestion or opinion amongst 5 or 6 of you then?
No, there were no different or opposing view regarding the matter. We thought that that was really the best course of action for the Philippine government.
So you spoke and thought as one?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, let's talk about the points raised by the Solicitor General. From what I read, there are 3 points. I'm gonna go through them one by one. Unang-una, sir, sinabi niyo, pwede po nating Tagalogin ito na walang jurisdiction or no jurisdiction. Bakit po?
Let's talk about jurisdiction because that's the fundamental issue here, Pinky. Ang ICC kasi ay may jurisdiction over certain crimes only. ano yung mga crimes na yan? Genocide, crime of aggression, crime against humanity, and war crimes. So, ganun katitindi na mga kaso ang pwedeng maging under the jurisdiction of the ICC. Yung talagang
Itugon sa ICC.
International concern talaga, ha? Genocide, wala namang nangyayaring ganyan sa Pilipinas. War crimes, definitely not applicable. Crime of aggression, certainly out of the question. So yung crime against humanity ang naging subject matter of the complaints against the Philippine government. So what we're saying is hindi rin applicable yung crime against humanity na maging, kumbaga parang hindi rin papasok doon yung situation in the Philippines. Kasi merong ibig sabihin ang crime against humanity. Ano ba yung mga offenses na yan, no, na magfo-fall doon? For example, murder, enslavement, extermination, persecution on account of political, racial, ethnic, religious, cultural, gender, and other factors, no? So, hindi naman doon nagfo-fall yung nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas in connection with our campaign against illegal drugs.
But you said
no?
murder, sir.
Yeah.
You said murder falls under crimes of humanity.
Correct. Oo, but murder or series of murders as part of a systematic attack against the civilian population.
What about a systematic attack against those involved in drugs?
Yun nga hindi naman ganun ang definition ng crime against against humanity. Systematic attack against a civilian population. Ang drug war natin, it's not even an attack. It's a legitimate law enforcement operation. And if it's an attack, quote unquote, Pinky, yung attack na yan is not against persons. It's an attack against illegal activities. Ang subject matter of the attack ay yung nangyayaring illegal activity. Drug trafficking, for example. It's not an attack against a certain segment of the population. It's an attack against illegal activities. And it's not in pursuit of a state or organizational policy.
But you said legitimate operations, sir. This is also a phrase you used. But when you ask the other side or the other group, sasabihin nila, this could be thought of or pwedeng lumabas na legitimate operations. Pero ang katotohanan nito, marami dito, based on others' opinions, ay hindi legitimate, illegitimate. Kumbaga, pwede ho ba dito pumasok? Kasi pag-usapan na po natin yung word na nanlaban, hindi ho ba? Does that make that a legitimate operation, sir? Would you categorize that as illegitimate?
Hindi, we were saying naman, Pinky, na doon sa libo-libong situation na merong namatay, no, ay meron din talagang admittedly mga certain cases na talagang maipapakita natin na merong unlawful act committed. Yun nga yung ginagawa natin Yun nga yung iniimbestigahan natin. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na kung merong 6,000 persons na namatay, lahat ng 6,000 cases na yan ay illegal or unlawful. In-isolate na natin kung alin yung wala namang problema, maayos naman ang operation, at tinanggal natin, in-identify natin kung alin yung a few instances na talagang merong abuse on the part of law enforcement. Yun yung iniimbestigahan natin. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na kung 6,000 persons ang namatay, lahat ng yun ay the result of illegal activities ng mga law enforcement agencies.
So that's where you're talking about jurisdiction, sir, no? Dun tayo sa first part, yung wala silang jurisdiction.
Yeah, the subject matter itself, crime against humanity. It does not fall. The Philippine situation does not fall under that category to begin with.
With the drug war, with the thousands of those killed, 6,200 plus according to the numbers of the government, and much more according to human rights groups. Let me just backtrack a bit with this jurisdiction issue. If it's really a jurisdiction issue that wala ho silang jurisdiction, bakit during the time, as you, Secretary of Justice, under the Duterte administration, you asked to defer the investigation? Why not there and then, sir? Siguro, tagalugin ko na, bakit hindi nung mga panahon na yon, sinabi nyo pa sandali lang, maaari bang isuspend muna natin yung investigation? Ba't hindi nyo na sinabi right there and then na hindi lang suspend, wala dapat investigasyon? Why did you have to have that avenue of, can we appeal to suspend the investigation? Please explain that.
Yeah, actually, yun namang issues about jurisdiction can be raised at any time. Hindi naman kailangan right off the bat, sa umpisa pa lang questionin mo na. But out of a sense of committee with the international community, even though we did, of course, we always made it a point to make a cautionary statement that we are not waiving any jurisdictional objections. If we wanted to cooperate to provide information to the prosecutor, we will do so out of committee, out of cordial relations with the international community. But it does not mean that we are waiving any objections on jurisdictional ground. So we provided certain information to the prosecutor early on to tell him na, look, we're doing what we needed to do in the Philippines. You need not come over to do your own investigation. Ito na yung mga nagawa namin. Kaya lamang, in his opinion, ay kulang yung ginagawa ng Philippine government. And I countered, you're giving us a very short period of time. Meron kaming sariling legal and judicial system na when you file a complaint against a police officer, it doesn't mean, Pinky, and in a few months' time, he will be facing an indictment in court. That's not how we operate in the Philippines. Kaya lang, after a few months, he asked for the resumption of the investigation already. Kasi sabi niya, kulang at hindi nagmi-mirror the kind of investigation that the ICC would like to have in the Philippines.
Okay. There's still a lot to talk about. We were just at one point of jurisdiction. Marami pa hong kailangan pag-usapan dito. We'll be taking a very short break. We will be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb, our source today, Solicitor General Menardo Guivarra. So we were talking about jurisdiction. I'm trying to look for the second point you raised. Complaints, you said, are already being investigated and prosecuted. Sir, let's reconcile the numbers first and foremost. The numbers I'm getting, at least last I looked, 6,235 individuals died during police operations. Human rights groups are saying it's actually more than that. In fact, umabot pa sa 30,000 kasi sinama din po yung mga vigilante killings, etc. During police operations, sir, what is the number?
Well, we were provided data that seems to confirm na about 6,000 plus deaths occurred during all of these police operations. So we're not even sure about that, no? Because ito ay parang data coming from, what we would have wanted to see ay yung actual complaints being filed by the victims' families, etc., etc., that would really tend to confirm na ganyan karami yung namatay. But nonetheless, if the law enforcement agencies provided that kind of data na ganun karami, the fact is, Pinky, lahat yan, pag may namatay sa police operations, automatically ini-investigate by the Internal Affairs Service, IAS of the PNP. Kaya lahat ng 6,000 cases na yan, dumaan yan sa PNP Internal Affairs Service. At majority, the bulk niyang mga cases na yan, wala namang nakitang anything unlawful or irregular ang PNP IAS except for several, more than 50 cases na the PNP IAS itself found na merong lapses or irregularities or anomalies on the part of the police officers. And yung batch na yon ang unang ibinigay ng PNP sa Department of Justice for case build-up. Inuna lang namin yon, finorward namin sa NBI, NBI please do a case build-up on the 52 cases. We prioritize the 52 cases because the police itself, the PNP, admitted na merong lapses yung 52 cases na yon. And mind you, hindi ibig sabihin doon na 52 police officers ang involved doon, no?
These are
Hindi
52
lang 52 cases.
Yeah.
So how many police officers ang pinag-uusapan natin? Hundreds.
But sir, if you talk about 52 cases, these are 52 cases out of the 6,000, tama ho ba yun? 2,000.
Yes, correct. 6,000 plus.
6,000 plus deaths.
Right.
So, para bang yung 6,000 plus deaths, cases din po yun? Is
Hindi,
that how we
no.
can
6,000 persons ang namatay.
Right, during
Oo.
police operations.
More or less, no?
Oo. Tapos, ang tiningnan nyo po, based on the IAS, case build-up, na nirefer nila sa inyo, na nirefer nyo sa NBI, 52 cases, but these are not just 52 policemen.
Yes.
These could be 100, 150
Hundreds of them, right.
policemen. So, let's just talk about the process. Here could be the problem, which is the process that must be undertaken, no? May police operations, sir. Nanlaban, di ho ba? Iimbestigahan ng PNP, ng IAS, no, Internal Affairs Service. Siyempre, sir, imbestigahan nila yung kabaro nila. Di ba? Let's talk about that. Paano naman ho, kung kayo ang biktima, asawa niyo po yun yung namatay, at ang pulis, kabaro po nila yung pumatay sa asawa ninyo, how can this be a credible investigation by the police if it is one of them involved?
Right, Pinky, very good question. Kaya naman, pumapasok na mismo ang DOJ at ang NBI into a review of those cases. Kaya nga nagkaroon kami noon ng agreement between the NBI and the PNP na titingnan namin yung yung other cases na exonerated, yung mga police officers, babalikan namin yan. Unahin lang namin yung 52 kasi kayo mismo sinabi nyo may nakita kayong mali. So, bato na namin yan sa NBI. Case build-up. As a matter of fact, doon ang NBI had already completed 19 of these 52 cases, and some had already been filed with the DOJ for preliminary investigation, and a few have actually reached the court. Pero my point is, ang NBI has been instructed by the DOJ, balikan nyo yung remaining thousands of cases na exonerated yung police officers. Tingnan nyo uli yan. We're not stopping with the 52 cases.
Sir,
Kasi nga tama yung punto mo eh. Baka magtatakipan, baka merong ganong klaseng nangyayari. So balikan namin
Pero
yan
dun
para
sa numbers,
independent.
sir, dun sa 6,000, lagay na lang natin, sir, 6,000 killed during police operations. Ilan po doon ang sabihin natin na percentage na lang po? What is the percentage by which the police were exonerated? Dun sa 6,000 plus.
Well, we'll just have to mathematically compute 52. Well, I can't say because 52 are cases, no?
Yun na nga, sir, eh.
Yung persons involved or killed during the 52 operations may be more than 52. So it's really a matter of, it's just a small fraction, I would say.
Would you say,
So
would you admit?
definitely less than 5%.
Yeah, so karamihan ay exonerated. Hindi
Yes.
mo ba?
Per PNP IAS.
Exactly.
Okay. Kaya nga babalikan namin yan. Teka, hindi pa kami tapos sa inyo. Hindi namin, we're not taking that at face value.
But you came in because of this. Ibig ko sabihin, balikan po natin ng Secretary of Justice po kayo. You came in because of this complaint filed, hindi ho ba, by the ICC. Sabi niya, sige, tingnan namin to. For some, Secretary Guivarra, back then, ang bagal po. Please correct me if I'm wrong. 52 sabi nyo ang binalikan nyo based on sa PNP IAS recommendation. Pinasa nyo po sa NBI. You promised, so 50. I think there was supposed to be another pending 250.
Yes, actually,
Okay.
finorward din namin yan sa NBI. O meron pa, 250 cases. We will forward this to the NBI for case build-up. So galing naman yan sa files ng National Prosecution Service, yung mga prosecutors.
Yeah.
O hindi yan galing sa PNP.
So-
Galing yan sa files ng mga prosecutors natin across the country.
Then tell us, if there are 300 cases, more or less, being investigated right now, out of 6,000 plus individuals killed during police operations on the war on drugs, would you say this is a low batting average in terms of reviewing the cases?
I'll agree with that, no? Talagang sasabihin natin na konti pa lang yan. But the thing is, meron mga institutional constraints kasi. And we make sure that before we file a complaint in court, an indictment in court, we're sure that we have enough evidence, no? That's a problem with this type of cases. Ang hirap mag-gather ng evidence. Because even the families of the victims would not want to, or the neighbors, their friends ng victims would not even want to come out. Why? Probably natatakot sila.
Sa police?
Well, baka ma-rest bakan sila eh. Baka ganun ang iniisip nila. That's why Secretary Remulla recently said na ang possible na magtetestigo dyan yung mga police officers din na kasama sa operations. Kaya lamang, baka syempre nahandun din yung safety concern. Kaya nga he even suggested na baka yung Witness Protection Program law natin ay ma-amend para pwedeng makasama under its coverage ang law enforcement agents. Kasi right now, they're not
Hindi sila kasama
included
dyan. Yeah.
sa Witness Protection Program.
Again, a very short break. We'll be right back. You're back on The Source. So we talked about jurisdiction. We actually already touched on admissibility, and ito, yung tinatawag na complementary principle of state-level investigative proceedings. Quickly, sir, anong ibig sabihin ito?
Well, yung non-admissibility, we're arguing na non-admissible itong case na to simply for the reason, ay ibig kasi sabihin nun, if the local or the domestic institutions are already investigating the subject matter of the complaint before the ICC, then the ICC, should give primacy to that domestic investigation already being conducted. And that's what we're saying.
Unless unable or unwilling.
Correct. Unless unable or unwilling.
Okay.
Pero wala namang proof eh.
But that's what, sorry sir the other side is saying, unless unable and unwilling. Government is saying, we're able and we're willing. But what they want is a genuine investigation. How do you respond to that,
Genuine is a very relative term. Genuine. From our point of view, we're doing a genuine investigation. It may be slow, maaring yung output at this point in time ay ganito pa lang, but given enough time, we will come up with results. So why would one say na hindi genuine yan? Simply for the reason na as of this time, ito pa lang ang output? That's not quite fair. So what we're insisting is that we are doing a genuine investigation. We are willing and we are able to do this, but give us ample time.
What is ample time, sir?
Ample time is being able to give due process.
What is ample time? Another 5 years, sir? What do you think?
Well, in the case of an investigation for a criminal offense, the preliminary investigation should last a few months, and then if probable cause is found, then you file that in court. Now, when you file that in court, we meet all the various problems and challenges like caseload and so forth and so on. So we gave examples in our submission about, for example, the massacre of the Maguindanao massacre, the G.H. Ju case, the Kian de los Santos case. So some cases could go very fast, but some would not.
But that's the thing, right, Solgen? So far, if I'm not mistaken, the only case that was prosecuted was the Kian de los Santos na yun lang po so far.
Yun lang ang merong conviction.
Sorry,
so
that
far.
was the word I was looking for, conviction.
Pero marami na nasa courts na,
ilan,
na tinatry na. Well, based doon sa 52 na galing sa NBI, 19 had been resolved, but not all of them were for indictment. Some were dismissed dahil kulang ng ebidensya.
Okay.
About 9, I think, went to court.
Okay. Should this government, work better, more closely with the Commission on Human Rights, because they seem to have some issues or problems with the Duterte administration? Kasi sa kanila po lumalapit yung mga biktima, yung families of victims. Should this government?
I think we should. In fact, when I was SOJ, I precisely sought better cooperation with the CHR. Kasi nga, you correctly pointed out, sila yung nilalapitan kasi pinagtitiwalaan ng mga tao ang CHR.
Opo. Last question, so overtime na po. Paano pag ipagpatuloy ng ICC ito? Ano ang legal recourse ng gobyerno?
We can appeal. The Republic can appeal a ruling that merong jurisdiction ng ICC, admissible yung court. We can challenge that dun sa appeals chamber of the ICC.
Pero hindi sila pwede pumasok dito. No investigators will be allowed to enter here in the country.
Well, in the meantime, that there is no final ruling on admissibility of the case or jurisdiction, I don't think the Philippine government will extend a lot of cooperation to the ICC.
To Solicitor General Menardo Guivarra, sir, again, good to see you. Maraming salamat.